Live from Fargo and serving you on TV, online, and on the go. This is Valley News Live at 5.
We begin tonight with some breaking news out of Hubbard County surrounding a shooting that left 3 people dead and a community in mourning. We now know the identity of the deputy who discharged his firearm during the incident and the one that was injured. Deputy Seth Kuhn is the man who discharged his firearm in Nevis last Thursday, and Deputy Eric Reipkema was injured when he was fired upon by Bryce Bellomo during the pursuit. Family members say Bellomo opened fire on his 2 sister-in-laws, Candy Gucci and Heidi Pierce, while they were inside their vehicle. He then drove off in their car with one of the sisters still in the passenger seat. Officials say he eventually got out of his vehicle and continued firing at officers. Bellomo then returned to his car, and that's where he died. Meanwhile, the assistant mayor from the city of Nevis has ordered flags at half-staff in honor of the shooting victims. He's also urging people in the community to be kind to one another during this incredibly difficult time. Almost 300 people attended a vigil for Candy Gucci and Heidi Pierce Sunday night. The new Nevis School District is expected to release a response on Tuesday. We continue to follow a developing story for you tonight out of the Northern Valley. That's where one person was taken to the hospital after an officer-involved shooting over the weekend. We're learning today the suspect is no longer in a Grand Forks hospital and is now in a hospital in the Twin Cities. Valley News Team's crime and safety reporter Bailey Hurley talked to people living in the area of the shooting who say they've never seen so many cops.
It's been a little over 24 hours, and there are still so many questions that we have yet to get answers to on what exactly happened here on Highway 2 and 31st Street Northeast yesterday afternoon. Now, officials have yet to release the names of the suspect or those officers involved in yesterday's shooting. Now, I talked with several neighbors in this area today who say that they just couldn't believe how many law enforcement officers responded to yesterday's incident, saying that they saw at least 20 law enforcement vehicles lined up and down Highway 2 yesterday afternoon into yesterday evening. Now, they also told me that they just couldn't believe something like this would happen right in their front yards, adding that they were extra thankful that they didn't hear those gunshots go off. Now, because today is a holiday, officials say that the details on what exactly led to yesterday's gunfire exchange and the names of those involved will be released tomorrow. Reporting in our villa, Bailey Hurley, Valley News Live.
Okay, thanks, Bailey. And you can stick with us here on Valley News Live as more information develops around this story. What started as a normal Friday for one Moorhead woman ended in sadness after she says her German Shepherd was shot and then run over by a snowmobile. The community has now come together to help raise money for the dog's vet bills. Carissa Walker says she can't believe anyone could do this to an animal.
I was just broken, because here's the thing that you love the most, and animals are unique. They don't judge you like people do. They just love unconditionally, and to not have her in my life scared me.
You can hear Carissa's story and how you can help tonight on Valley News Live at 6. We have some chilly temperatures tonight, but there might be a warm light at the end of this very frigid tunnel. Hutch joins us now with a look ahead. Hutch.
Yes, as we head into the evening, we're enjoying a beautiful setting sun out in the western sky. And even though it wasn't overly windy, it did stay on the cool side of the thermometer throughout the day. Single-digit readings, mainly above 0 for most of us, will not last very long. A few clouds out to the west may slow your rate of cooling as warmer air tries to punch our way. We do have a wind chill advisory for most of our North Dakota counties into northwest Minnesota into the morning. Quickly falling temperatures this evening, so bring that jacket. The good news is the wind won't be overly strong, under 5 to 10 miles per hour as we go through the evening. There is snow in the forecast as we go into our Wednesday. It does look like some will need shovels as well. Melanie, I'll have details on how much you can expect, and we'll look ahead toward the rest of the week here in just a minute.
Okay, thank you, Hutch. It was a scary and bizarre situation in Fargo this weekend when one driver started throwing things at a nearby vehicle in a fit of rage. Take a look at this. You can see the driver get out of his vehicle, take objects from his back seat, and then throw them at the vehicle next to him. It's unknown what led up to this situation on the corner of 45th Street and 13th Avenue Saturday afternoon in Fargo. Witnesses tell us once the driver got back in his vehicle, he ran the red light. Police are now looking into this incident. The Polk County Sheriff's Office needs your help finding more information about cars shot up in a hospital parking lot. Sheriff's officials say a deputy heard gunshots yesterday just after midnight near the Foston Essentia Health Hospital. Then, around 5 a.m., a hospital staff member found bullet casings in the parking lot. Deputies discovered 2 employee vehicles with bullet holes in them. Anyone with information is asked to contact the Polk County Sheriff's Office. Police are on the lookout for a pickup with an attached plow that was stolen in Moorhead. The owner's family says this truck was taken sometime between last Friday evening and Saturday afternoon. It was parked in the Moorhead Industrial Park by 20th Avenue and 25th Street. The pickup is a blue-gray GMC Sierra with a Boss plow attached to the front. It has North Dakota plates 891 CBR. Anyone with information is urged to call police. A North Dakota lawmaker accused of drunk driving has pleaded guilty to reckless driving. Republican Representative Craig Hedlund of Montpelier was pulled over in October in Stutsman County. Troopers say Hedlund refused a field chemical test and was arrested for driving under the influence. A judge ordered Hedlund to pay a $500 fine and $250 in fees. He must also perform 40 hours of community service. Several streets in Fargo were blocked off earlier today due to a water main break flooding the streets. It all happened just before 10 this morning in the 2600 block of Southgate Drive South. As you can see, water was pouring out from the streets. It's unclear if any businesses were damaged in that area. This is the last week for North Dakota legislators before their mid-session break, and they have a lot of spending bills and major measures left to be considered in their respective chambers as crossover looms. Both the State House and Senate will vote on competing Republican and Democratic bills that would develop rules to comply with a voter-approved constitutional amendment aimed at ethics reform. The bills differ greatly in their approach on how to adhere to the measure passed by voters in November. The House also will vote this week on legislation that would prohibit housing or workforce discrimination based on sexual orientation. The bill mirrors similar measures that were killed by the Republican-led legislator in several past sessions. Minnesota residents with autism or obstructive sleep apnea can now qualify for the state's medical marijuana program. Those additions are effective Wednesday, marking the latest expansion of the program that launched in 2015. Minnesota lawmakers passed one of the nation's most restrictive medical marijuana laws in 2014, banning the plant form and restricting its use to patients with just a handful of serious conditions. Parents of children who have benefited from medical marijuana spoke to the media about their experiences. Advocacy groups had sought to add even more conditions to the program, including nausea, dementia, and anxiety disorders. Democratic presidential candidates are campaigning in states with early votes in the 2020 primary. Senator Amy Klobuchar of Minnesota continued her tour on the West Coast today, where she talked about her Midwest values. If elected president, she says one of her goals would be to return to the International Climate Agreement. Senator Cory Booker of New Jersey spent his second straight day in a swing through New Hampshire, which will hold the first primary next year. Booker is promoting his work on criminal justice legislation. The numbers are out for the most common citations given in 2018 by the North Dakota Game and Fish Department. Coming in number 1 was failure to carry a license. Game wardens issued more than 2,400 citations last year compared to 2,500 in 2017. Counties with the most violations were Ramsey, McKenzie, Burley, and Stutsman. Behind failing to carry a license, other common violations last year include exceeding the limit of fish and not having enough life jackets on board. Tensions at the